In part 2, the Buu arc concluded as usual, beyond Goku being praised for saving the universe, bringing the Kame-sen Ryu's popularity even higher, and Tao Pai Pai being rewarded for his actions by becoming like 17 and 18. Now, we move on to the events around Super. The 26th Tenkaichi Budokai occurs in age 778, where Pai Pai decides not to alter the matchup to make things fair. Idel tells her father she won't be able to participate, for reasons she'll reveal later, but Muten Roshi makes his return when, having been inspired to break his limits far earlier, Chozu does alter 2 matches, being to place himself in match 3 against Jewel, who's become a Suisen Ryu student, for an easy win, and have Goku and Vegeta in match 8 for an uninterrupted fight. Match 1 is Tenshinhan vs Kuririn, though both have become far stronger sparring with artificial humans, and Ten has an overwhelming advantage in Ki, when having honed his third eye abilities far more with Tao Pai Pai's more positive teachings. Kuririn reveals he's developed the 100 times Taioken, which debilitates Ten, and has him be knocked out of the ring. Tenshinhan is grateful though, in being reminded to hone all his techniques, rather than strive for raw power. Match 2 is Tao Pai Pai vs 18, where, despite Tao being stronger, his mechanical parts no longer keeping up with the strength his enhanced cells have gained, has him fight poorly and be defeated, him accepting his desire to chase greater power rather than teach his students to do better was wrong. Match 4 is Satan vs Pampoto, where Pampoto easily wins. Match 5 is Piccolo vs Roshi, where Roshi's more refined movements surprise Piccolo enough that he loses by Renault. Match 6 is 17 vs Buu, where Buu, having relaxed in peacetime, has 17 easily overpower him, but his elastic body has Buu surround 17 with pieces of himself and knock him out of the ring. Match 7 is Namor vs Chappa, where sparring with Buu has Namor easily overpower Chappa, who doesn't regret leaving the Kame-sen Ryu when being a teacher in his own right and needing to explore all routes of martial arts to refine that road. Goku vs Vegeta is completely even, with Goku having gained Super Saiyan 3 prior to Daima, but Goku's great experience in different fighting styles, from teaching so many, has him barely win, though displaying many great strategies. Kuririn can't defeat 18 when she knows his way of fighting better than anyone. Chozu has refined his telekinesis enough from both sparring with Tao and watching Shin that he stops Pampoto from going further. Roshi's gamble of using the Yoiko Miminken to make Buu fall asleep pays off, and Namor does his best in the face of certain defeat. 18 easily defeats Chozu, and Roshi reminds Goku some of the lessons he's been taught, thus having Goku realize the principles of Ultra Instinct, but not beyond Roshi's version without God Ki. This has him be able to counter 18's attacks despite her being far stronger, and throws her out to secure his championship title, and Muten Roshi being encouraged to become an instructor due to his performance. With Goku knowing the tenets of Ultra Instinct, Super then goes the same to my video on if he unlocked it earlier, until Goku Black goes to Trunks' timeline, where sparring with Pan has brought both far enough to get their potential unleashed before facing Babidi. Black is too much for them, with Trunks having to use the Taioken, and Kibito using Kaikai to bring everyone to the Kaioshinkai. Rodai Kaioshin is concerned at the villain having the Potara, and says Shing should go warn the other Kaioshin, while Trunks and Pan prepare to surpass this enemy. Goatsu isn't able to do anything with the warning once Shin leaves, and Zamasu still joins Black. Trunks and Pan are given the Potara once they go to protect Earth and have advanced enough. Even Black unlocking Rose when Zamasu heals him isn't enough until his survival instincts and muscle memory awaken Ultra Instinct Sign, which trumps us both. They then use the Potara, and Panks' power is too much for Black to react to, with Zamasu having to use the Potara when shocked at them going back to normal after an hour. Pan and Trunks use the Taioken and go in the time machine with Burma and Mai, with Kibito Shin and his ancestors seeing no option but to plead for help from Beerus. Pan telling her father what has happened has him want to regain his fighting instincts and spars with her and Trunks, while the information of Zamasu's immortality has Goku and Trunks try mastering the Mafuba, both Burumas making microbands so that Goku, Gohan and Vegeta can fit in the time machine. When they arrive though, they discover Zamasu reaching his time limit has made him mutate enough to clone himself, which proves beyond any uses of the Potara, when even Gohan and Trunks using it and then the Mafuba only sealing one, or Vegeta having gained Ultra Ego, and Goku perfecting Ultra Instinct during the fight, still barely being enough to fight against one Zamasu. Before Goku can opt for the Xeno button though, Beerus arrives and seals the remaining Zamasu before he can duplicate again. He then fights with Goku and Vegeta to test them, which helps them get used to their godly techniques even more, before he decides to make Pan and Trunks his future rivals, and ignore this use of time travel, when Shin would be doomed without it. Goku eventually decides on Goten and Trunks becoming playmates for Xeno, and his constant visits there have him voice his desire to face the other universes. With the Tournament of Power still occurring, Goku easily defeats Toppo at the exhibition, and makes him doubt his justice and Jiren's strength, who is instead replaced with Namu, and Kuririn has studied enough under Muten Roshi to learn some principles of Ultra Instinct, as well as the Bankoku Bikuri shot, which has Roshi see it as not worth entering, and instead give his spot to Tao Pai Pai. Toppo unleashes his Hakaishin mode at the start, but Vegeta going to face him has Toppo quickly fall to Ultra Ego. Gohan starting off with the strength he'd have at the end of the tournament has him stop Frost's attempts to target Universe 7, while Goku uses Ultra Instinct as soon as he faces Jiren, and has enough experience to have a decisive win, but lets his guard down after this, with Damon knocking him out of the ring along with Namu. Kuririn still being in saves 18 from the same fate, and Tenshin Han, being far stronger than usual, has him fight by Tao's side to hold their ground, especially with 17 coming to help out. This spot is the one to try and defeat Kale and Caulifla instead of Frieza, which has Kale transform, and aside from this spot being knocked out early, events unfold as usual until Kefla appears, where Gohan gains a decisive victory against her to win the tournament. Vegeta underestimates Moro enough to not use Ultra Ego from the start, and events go the same until Goku gets healed, where he has enough ki to use Ultra Instinct and stop Moro getting away after the wish to restore all his magic is made. Vegeta still goes to Yardrat when realizing they've gotten too used to besting ki absorbers with raw power, and knows it will help with the acknowledgement he had of Jiren's efficient movements. The Granola arc thereby doesn't occur, and in Age 781, the 27th Tenkaichi Budokai happens, with Goku feeling obligated to enter. The first match is Gohan vs Piccolo, as winning the Tournament of Power convinced Gohan to keep in shape to cover his father's weaknesses, which impresses Piccolo enough to lose with dignity. Match 2 is Goku vs 17 for Goku's easy win. Match 3 is Tao Pai Pai vs Kuririn, where despite Kuririn performing well through his strategic techniques and honing his version of Ultra Instinct, Pai Pai's infinite energy and having boosted his cybernetics further by requesting Shin get him some Kachikachinko after the Tournament of Power for his cybernetics, has Tao win, but express gratitude to the Kame-sen Ryo instructor for a good fight. Match 4 is Tenshin Han vs Namu, where Ten has advanced to the point Namu can't compete with him. Match 5 is Buu vs Videl, where she reveals that she had Buruma perform the artificial human surgery on her and her father, for them to keep protecting what they value, which she couldn't do earlier with all the conflicts that have taken place. This still isn't enough to defeat Buu, with how strong he became against Moro, but Fidel's efforts earn everyone's praise. Match 6 has Vegeta get payback against 18, and Match 7 has Mr. Satan show Pamputo he is the better artificial human. Match 8 is Chosu vs Chappa, where, out of frustration at reaching old age, Chappa has paid Buruma to become an artificial human, to keep practicing martial arts at his peak, and defeats Chosu. Goku then tests Gohan, but Ultra Instinct is a wall Gohan can't reach. Tao Pai Pai Budokai proves stronger than Ten, but even Kachinko can't contain Tao's power for long, as Ten's precise strikes and use of his third eye to help adapt to Pai Pai's movements, as the student defeat the master, with Pai Pai declaring Ten Shinhan has earned the right to be master of the Surusen Ryu. Vegeta easily defeats Buu, and then Satan and Chappa have an intense fight, where Chappa has stronger techniques, but Satan fights with more technical strategy, him eventually winning when striking Chappa off guard with a Sokidan from behind. Chappa is fine with this, with him being motivated to become stronger and to go back to tutoring one of his prodigies in the village. Goku versus Vegeta then becomes inevitable, where the counterattacks of Ultra Instinct avoid and land enough hits. Even the growing strength of Ultra Ego has to relent eventually. Without Broly or Chilai on Beerus's planet, Whis is informed of the events with the Gammas, as Goku and Vegeta arrive quickly, but Piccolo still goes ahead with the wish, when not wanting to rely on them for everything, and Gohan comes along too, the Gammas quickly being pacified, and Cell Max is a mild challenge at best. With how long this part already is, the scenario will conclude in part 4 with GT's events.